I got-
stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are meeting social distance standards for the global pandemic. People are spaced out so people can take off their masks if they like. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm here.
Meg LaFave.
Here.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick. Here. And James Coffey is absent, and I'm here.
Thank you. Anything for public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll move forward. We are making accommodations for public comment and participation by the public still. Just a couple of quick things, and then I know Patrick is here, our finance manager. It's really important for the public as well as the members of the town board to know that over the last 4 days, our COVID numbers in the county have gone up significantly. And people can put a lot of definition to, what is significant and trace those out. That's a word that was used by the Clinton County Health Department. That's not a word or spin that I'm putting on it. Our health officials have put significant, meaning that that people should take pause to continue to social distance, wash your hands, use face masking, and this is the science of the situation. And my statements are not meant to be political at all. They're just simply taking the best advice from our Clinton County Health Department, and they are imploring people to continue to put that messaging out there, to practice it yourself. We continue to do that here at the town for not just the town board meeting, but all of our boards and committee meetings, etc. We continue to do contract tracing books and all the pieces of the puzzle. With that said, and I won't spend too much time on it, is about a week or two ago, I had talked about how Governor Cuomo had signed a piece of legislation on Labor Day, how there was a new requirement for policies and procedures that relate to communicable diseases and stuff. I've been doing some more research on that, having some conversations with County Administrator Zerlo, and there's a lot there. There's a lot there. There's no formal blueprint per se. There's a lot of requirements, and I did have a conversation with the LaBerge group today, who is looking to make a proposal to the town board on how they may be able to help us get our arms wrapped around that. In the conversation, they are looking to have some conversations with HR specialists, Ronnie Travis actually being one of them. So because there's policies and procedures and needs that kind of tongue and groove between kind of the health and safety portion of it, but also the HR portion of it, if something comes back and I think is reasonable, I'm just giving you an advance notice, I very likely will make a formal proposal. More to come. They're still kind of learning some stuff too. I can't even really answer good questions at the moment, but we just had a thoughtful conversation about the complexity of this, and I'm pretty confident that you're going to see this unfold in 2 chapters. And what I mean by that is the first one is the laws that's been signed, and I know that the Association of Towns, the Conference of Mayors, and the Association of Counties have been having conversations with legislators and others about modifications to that law moving forward. So next year, we may see some modifications, but I think that the bones of what is required are going to remain.
Is the county interested in this as well?
Once I get it, I'm gonna share it with Mike, and I'm gonna share it with all the other towns, the villages in the city. The problem with it, though, is every municipality has to have their own. So you don't get to do a county one and then kind of have it trail off into the different nuggets. However, there could be components of it that if the county, for example, was willing to be the purchasing agent for PPE, that might be able to be inserted into a portion of everybody's response policy. So we definitely need to have some conversations and see what we're recommending.
Is it possible to have like a template of it? each individual town or county?
Well, that's what LaBerge Group is looking at, is to find out where is the fine line of what is the kind of, the backbone to it, and then what has to hang on that's individualized to the municipality. And I can't speak if they're gonna develop that blueprint, I don't think they're gonna give it out for free.
Of course.
But there may be an opportunity for either shared service or collaboration or some things like that, so.
And Michael, I would also say, not just necessarily county towns, I think we have to keep in mind that, you know, we have 5 fire districts that fall within the town too,
Yep.
that are gonna have to be part of that, and certainly do not have the means and the manpower necessarily to comply, so.
What, I'm anticipating that the overall work about it is probably about 70, 80 hours of work involved in the full development. So, you know, and you might look at a policy and go, well, how can that be that many hours? There's,
Sure.
And it's all new.
it's all new, it's about acquiring, it's about providing, it's about how you manage your stockpile, you know, for lack of better terms. So, just more to come, I just wanna be aware of that.
Michael, just a question, would you be able to leverage some discussion, obviously, with your group of supervisors that you?
That's the goal,
Okay.
because, and I'm bringing this up more because of the conversation that occurred. I'm not advocating for LaBerge Group. The reason I'm bringing it up is there's gotta be somebody that's gonna have to help us manage this.
Mhm.
They do have some experience in developing other things similar to it. And they knew from their swath of clientele that they were kind of doing their due diligence, saying, you know, is this as mind-numbing as we think it is, you know, and is there some need for some support? So we spent about a half hour just kind of talking about the policy, what the complications are and things like that.
Barb, I was gonna ask that question too. I think it's worthwhile to let LaBerge Group know, even ask them their guidance on being able to share
Yep.
what we can. Because I think
Yeah.
even though this is all new and it's kind of a rush to get it done, it would be short-sighted to not have it be a universal document.
That's the goal.
Well, and I think
And
there's
I-
a lot of opportunity for the shared services portion, be it cleaning or lodging or
Mhm.
whatever we may happen to have
Oh,
to
yeah.
have to do.
Well, and I
There's a
think
lot
that's
of
why we need to
opportunity.
break this policy requirement down into pieces,
Yes.
because some pieces might make sense to do purchasing power. Some of it may be leveraging, you know, soft resources. Some of it may be just the policy itself.
Mhm.
So I think there's some opportunity here. So
Other agencies besides LaBerge, any others that are doing?
that's the first one that formally that I've had a direct conversation. And here's the truth of the matter, Tom. The clock is ticking. Like there's an active requirement behind this. And I've been doing my due diligence to have some conversations with people and stuff, and we'll do some more canvassing. But as Meg pointed out very wisely is, you know, our adjoining neighbors, we're all in this together. So there may be some opportunity to kind of dovetail. So more to come, okay? So.
I thought we were supposed to have these services that we work together on anyway, that was supposed to save money, that the governor.
I'm not gonna get into
Oh,
the-
okay.
Okay, so, I am gonna jump around a little bit, I apologize, just to be mindful of Pat's, attendance tonight. Resolution 150 CFA Insurance Company as broker for the town of Plattsburgh. Can you go to that one, please? 150.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh desires to continue to offer its eligible employees insurance, and whereas CFA, Clark Forester Agency, located at 686 Bear Swamp Road, Peru, New York, operates as a broker and exclusive agency of record for the town's employees' insurance services, and whereas the town of Plattsburgh desires to contract with CFA to provide such services to the employees of the town of Plattsburgh, therefore be it resolved that after review by the town attorney, the supervisors duly authorized and empowered to execute the attached agreement on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh, and be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and Clark Forester Agency.
Is there a motion for discussion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic. All right, so between Pat and I, we'll try to touch upon this, there's
Can
been,
Just touch on one thing.
yeah,
The date on the top is 2019, and it should be 2020.
thank you,
Sorry about that.
that's right. Many hands make light work. I wanna thank Pat and
I've got a few
Nikki.
documents for you to review.
I wanna thank Pat and Nikki, in particular for spending time on this, reviewing it. It's been some, time since we've made any of the adjustments. This particular, program is under the Blue Shield program. There is a modest cost savings, to both the town and the employees themselves, okay? Just wanted to make you aware of this. The service, there should not be a service disruption in it. So it is the Blue Shield PPO, correct?
Correct.
So, any questions? I mean, it's,
Is this supposed to be, it was a continuation, we've had the Clark Forester, haven't
we have, but he's making an adjustment in the service structure. So, this is giving him the authorization to do so for us.
All of our groups have agreed to it.
It's actually not an area of negotiation. It's an area where they're gonna come in and do a presentation on October 30th. There's no change in service, so it's equal to an equal part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So benefits the employees and
Yeah, so the,
Correct.
so the benefits, the employees, depending on what, coverage they have now, they're saving, it's not a lot, but annual savings of between $100 to $450, depending on what coverage you are.
Yeah.
The town, it'll be $600 to $2,000, depending on what the coverage is, so.
Well,
Kind of just throw a couple more things in there. Overall, it's about a $27,000 savings for the town if we didn't change to this company versus Excelis, which we have, currently are using. But the coverage is absolutely the same. Blue Shield uses an experience rate from Utica, not Albany, which Excelis does, which is a higher rate, so that's why they're able to come in a little bit lower than Excelis. But all the coverage is exactly the same, so.
We've also benefited over the last number of years that not to be the first one into the batch for things because the healthcare market can be so volatile. So we're really trying to make sure that we take a steady approach to things and to do this review. Now, could we get into next year and find that this, got priced out? Yeah, but that could have happened with the previous program. We've taken a very stable approach over the last umpteen years, so.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few come in for 1 year and then they leave the next
Right,
year.
yeah.
And we don't want our employees to be jumping all over.
No.
So they've been in the market a couple of years, so they know what they're getting into. This will be the third year, so.
Okay. So Pat, I'm appreciative that they're coming to do the presentation, which they should do. Will they be available to come on site beyond that if there's any questions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. that's-
They're doing 3 sessions on October 30th,
Okay.
8 AM, 9 AM, 10 PM, because they called, we can only fit so many people in here. And if there's ever any questions, they are very good at either coming in or you can call them directly, so.
Yep.
Their sign out front, CFA, says caring friendly advisors,
Yes.
That's right.
instead of Clark Forester
Yes,
agents.
I've seen that.
And that's what their radio ad says too.
All right,
But I think it's great that not only savings for the town, but the savings for the employees, I
Right.
think, especially this year.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it's not on the plus side.
That's right.
They're gaining on
Right.
it, so I think.
And actually, it was a good year, because Excelis was only going up 3%, which is normally 7 to 12%, so.
Yeah,
yeah.
but this is even better.
Given that they.
Town is better than us.
It is, it is.
Michael, the employees, gave up their raises.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that we talked at the budget session, that this is I hope,
And a big thing that Pat and Nikki and I, because we looked at it from a bunch of different perspectives, the idea was, it was not about cost, I don't wanna make it seem that there's not a value for cost savings. There's obviously an opportunity for cost savings, but you can drive a Cadillac or you can drive a Pinto, okay? I don't think that any of our healthcare packages at the moment are Cadillac, in that sense. We've always provided, a good serviceable vehicle, but we're not trying to undercut people by jamming people into a Pinto either. You know what I mean? And it's very similar to what it is without service disruption. So we evaluated it on, kind of a bunch of different markets and stuff. Even to where you can get your blood drawn. Like that was kind of the level of conversations and stuff like that. Okay.
Where the presentation's gonna be at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
and 10 o'clock, so are you spacing it out so there's not too many people in here?
Yep.
That's why we're doing, normally we do just one session, but we're doing 3 because of that.
So with that, I'm gonna call for a roll call. I do receive town insurance, so I am going to abstain. I just wanna make that noted in advance, okay?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Robert Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Abstain. Thank you again, Patrick, very appreciated. This resolution does carry, okay. The other resolution, like I said, we're bouncing around a little bit, I apologize.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah, is resolution 151, renewal of Constellation Energy Services.
And that resolution, was that given out?
Should be.
Yeah, I think there was one on,
Yeah. Does everyone have it?
let me see, did you say 151?
Yeah,
I don't think I do, but
I don't know.
Really?
That's okay. Yeah,
You want me
Yeah. If you don't mind. Thank you.
I'll be right
Thank you, brother.
Deborah sent it after the fact.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So we can talk about it, no, actually, we gotta leave it till then.
151, the adoption of the budget?
Nope, 151 is, you got a new cover sheet
Oh, yeah.
for. Yeah, the adoption of the budget, the completed assessment roll, delinquent water and sewer charges, and revised rules and regulations, and, you know, all those types of items, those will be held off until, the following week or weeks, so.
Is it up for renewal now, right now?
Yeah,
Oh, that's not one that goes till December.
well, we're trying to get it.
It says it begins October 27th.
This was one that, was done under the original shared services panel a year or two ago. So, and it was recommended by the county.
I'm good, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
What are you laughing at? I'm saving the planet here, and you're
He's
just,
still got the copy.
and you're laughing at me.
He's still got the copy.
One paper at a time. All right. Thank you,
more
I
of that.
appreciate that.
It's not on me.
Resolution 151, renew agreement with the Constellation New Energy, Inc.
Whereas Constellation New Energy, Inc. has submitted a proposed electricity supply agreement to the town, and the town attorney has reviewed the agreement as well as communicating with representatives of Constellation New Energy, Inc. And the town attorney is satisfied that the agreement is legally sufficient, and whereas Resolution 17-259 was passed and the new service agreement has been received, the new agreement has been received with the dates of the agreement beginning October 27th, 2020 to November 30th, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor of the town is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to contract with Constellation New Energy, Inc. to supply energy to the town.
Is there a motion for consideration? So, Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert. Just for discussion, just to give you a little bit, again, of the overview of how we got here to begin with. We worked with Ambit Energy some time ago during the shared services panel that you were talking about, Tom. There was a recommendation to the county to go, also acknowledging good energy, and there was an opportunity for some cost savings and also some payback. We're still waiting on the secondary payback for the shared services panel, but there's still cost savings currently. One of the biggest lifts, unfortunately though, was there were multiple billing structures that we had to go through. There was some more paperwork. Thanks to Pat's good leadership, he is able to get the billing on the NYSEG bills directly. And it's still at a cost savings.
That saves $72
Yeah.
Yeah.
every month.
So, you know, where this is a good thing for us overall, you know, it puts us still in a good position, and there's, it also takes some of the administrative burden, of the program off of them.
Wasn't that the one where you had to keep
That
taking
was-
different papers and coming back and
Yeah.
forth? and
That was
checking
quite
out
a-
constantly?
So,
The most complicated thing when I was.
Pat, you explained it to me, and I still had to have you explain it to me again.
so what to do, when we have an ISAC bill, consolation charges will be on that bill.
Right.
So that's the way we don't have to have, we're not getting the consolation bill, we're not getting an ISAC bill, then trying to match those two up
Mhm.
has been a nightmare for us, because their billing
Yeah.
cycles are different. So this way will streamline the whole process, so, and on top of that, we're gonna save about $10,000 a year on energy, so.
So overall, it's, you know, these are the things that we're, but again, you know, with COVID and everything else, just trying to facilitate and have these conversations and bring the right players into it. You know, I apologize that this isn't before you earlier, but these are programs that we've been involved with for a while, so. All right, with that,
It's a 3-year agreement.
it's a 3-year agreement.
And is the county in with it, not everybody else?
I believe everybody's planning on renewing. The original that we were in does not require us to stay in that same program,
Okay.
because it wasn't, connected. Okay? Anything further? Going once, going twice, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does Carrie. Thank you so much, Patrick,
There you go.
for coming in tonight. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Pat.
I'll see you Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you
I'm
could take
excited.
Marty's name
Take
off
Marty's
there,
name
both
off.
I
lines
got
there,
it.
that would be good.
I'm all set.
Chuck, is there something that we should, yeah, I saw
I'll talk
that.
to you Monday early.
Uh,
Is there a bad time?
This
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
yeah.
Not really, I get there at 9.
I-
All right, so.
Work with Chuck some more.
Again, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit here. You do have draft minutes. We are keeping those in draft at the moment. I would like to introduce Resolution 146, Panera Bread Site Plan and Special Use Permit.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the Panera Bread Site Plan and Special Use Permit 2019, and whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated inspection of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed, therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release the deposit in the amount of $6,292.47, plus accrued interest to date, and it is further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Development Department agency with the return of deposit to Panera Bread.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
I just want to tell you something funny. You know how for a long time people were really, really excited that, you know, are we getting a Kohl's, are we not getting a Kohl's, you know, that type of level of excitement. When people found out that Panera Bread was opening back up, there was like that like level of energy. Like I never knew that there was, I mean, people like Panera,
Oh, yeah.
people like love Panera.
Yeah.
So it's good to have them back with them. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 147, 3% site plan return for Monahan Medical Corp. Site Plan 2018.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the Monahan Medical Corporation Site Plan 2018, and whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated inspection of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed, therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release the deposit in the amount of $17,852.85 plus accrued interest to date, and it is further resolved that the certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Development Department Secretary with the return of deposit to all parties.
Is there a motion?
You have the signatures, right? From the planning department?
I'll make a motion.
LaFave, second.
Second.
Wood.
Gotta get that one.
He was like on that.
Yeah.
Okay, any
Not
discussion?
as purchased.
Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Thank you very much. Resolution 148, Quarry Road Water Improvement Award.
Whereas Resolution 20-107 authorized to advertise for sealed bids for the project entitled Quarry Road Water Improvements. Sealed bid documents were opened on August 25th, 2020 at 11 a.m. And whereas the consulting engineers, LaBerge Engineering and Consulting Group have submitted their report relative to their analysis of bids, Therefore, be it resolved that the recommendation of said engineers be hereby accepted, approved, and adopted, and be it further resolved that Quarry Road water improvements be hereby awarded to the Luck Brothers at 73 Trade Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, in the base bid amount of $1,292,997. And it is further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the agreement for said services totaling $1,292,997. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater and Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Fosdick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert? Any discussion? Seeing none.
Was there a number of you?
No. This was one of the smaller periods, but this is a project that's been on the docket for some time, so,
Oh, yeah.
This is on hold for the
yeah,
resolution.
yeah. So, all right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Carried.
Same.
Abstain? Okay. All right. Resolution 149, Quarry Road Water Improvement Change Order Number 1.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh's Water and Wastewater Department went out to bid and awarded the Quarry Road water improvement, and whereas the Luck Brothers has requested that the contract date be extended by 1 month to July 1st, 2021, and be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize change order number 1, and be it further resolved that the supervisor be authorized to execute said change order to extend the contract date, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and water and wastewater director.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Fosdick. Again, just to give a highlight of this, this relates to a contractor request as it relates to, what was it, I had this here. The EFC, so, to review the utilization plans, just with everything going on right now, so, this is one of the simpler change orders that you can have in a project.
Yeah,
So-
Scott would catch us in the.
A matter of a month later.
Yeah, so, but a lot of times people hear change orders though, and, you know, there's like huge concerns about, like, well, what's the
Well,
cost
there's
factor
the
to that?
cost of.
Right.
No,
So-
no,
Yeah.
there's no cost difference, everything's exactly the same.
But I do wanna just bring it to the attention though, a lot of times when you get a change order though,
Yeah,
it's because,
That's appreciative of it, because I think that's what happens.
yeah,
There was some paperwork
yeah.
Okay,
delay.
that's good, so I was gonna ask for a little bit more clarification, thanks.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, all passes, carried, thank you. We already did 150, we did 151.
The rest of drafts?
The rest are drafts. So, again, we will not have a meeting next week because of it being the 5th Thursday of the month. A couple of things just to remind individuals that Town Hall will be used as a polling location. We have 2 polling sites here in the town this year. Cumberland Head is one of them, and Town Hall is the other. I had a good conversation with both of the commissioners. As a follow-up again, they will be following all health and safety protocols as it relates to the on-site requirements for COVID, and they will be doing the decon cleaning the following day as well. Obviously, you know, and I can't go through every measure of it, but strongly encourage the public to consider using every tool to participate in the process of democracy, be it through, you know, your absentee, early voting, on-site, etc. So, would direct you to the Clinton County website for more information on that.
We're closed that day.
We will be closed that day.
And how much of the facility will they have access to?
So the way that the space will be used here is they'll have this main conference room and the bathrooms. And the conference, our break room will be available for them because the weather could be not that great at that point. So we will make some small accommodations for the break room to use, but all spaces will be deconned. So
And will people be going in and out both doors? at the end, or just
I believe, actually, if I remember correctly, they'll be using the main doors, and they may use the side door for an exit strategy again, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we usually put signs on that door that say go around if you wanna go, just so we don't deter people if they think it's locked?
There's a big sign on it right now that says go around to main door because of the way that it's, locked, but I'll talk with, DOE about additional signage if they need it.
You usually have.
They didn't have a problem when they did the,
They
the other
usually
one,
have the A-frame
Yeah.
sign that say vote here, that,
yeah,
Last year, didn't they have 3 polling places?
they had multiple,
What
But
was
if, yeah,
over-
if somebody came from this direction and just whipped into this.
oh,
parking
yeah,
lot,
yeah,
wasn't
no,
really
no,
looking,
oh, no, I
they
agree.
might think,
They-
well, it's not here and just not vote.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's all I got. So with, nothing further ado, no, understanding for, to go into an executive session, we will adjourn tonight at 6:30 PM. Be safe, everyone. Thank you very much.